Okay, this is actually animation power creep, because what is going on? So, version 3.4's first phase will have Phainon, our newest physical destruction unit, focusing around straight up disgusting ult damage. This self-sustainer is something else. So let's jump right into his best Lightcones, Relics, Teamcomps, and Eidolon Value. So as a destruction unit, he has a few Lightcone options. Firstly, his signature is much better than everything else. This is classic Star Rail, making signatures stupid. It's more worth it than any of his Eidolons. So if you have the pulls, go for it. Surprisingly, Imbibitor's signature performs really well as his second best limited option. You can't really go wrong with crit rate, attack percent on Phainon. Another limited signature that does really well will be Saber's signature. She'll be coming in the second phase after Phainon alongside Archer. So if you're in that unique situation where you're getting Phainon and Saber's signature, then it's great on him, but I don't really know how many people will be doing that. Now his best in slot free to play option will be the Herdeshop Lightcone at S5. It's better than all the other options I haven't mentioned yet. Most people will and should be using this Lightcone. It's only about 20% worse than his signature, which isn't that bad. If you somehow don't have the Herdeshop Lightcone by this point, then use Maiday's signature, Clara's, or Yin Li's signature if you have any of them. Some 4-star options that are good is Secret Vow or Ninja Record, but they are all worse than that free-to-play best in slot, so it's very worth getting. Next up, Relic Sets. So the Wave Strider Captain set is his best in slot, giving him crit damage and a ton of attack percent, which is exactly what he wants. There are a few other usable sets like Scholar and Boxing, but Wave Strider will generally perform better, so just farm that set. Phainon's best plan ornaments will be either the new set Arcadia or Rudolent Arena. It depends on the substats. If you don't have a good set for either, then I suggest farming the new set when his banner is released, and just having okay Rudolent pieces as a placeholder if you have them. Moving on to main stats and substats for Phainon, you want to aim for crit on the body, either rate or damage, whatever you need, attack percent on the boots, but speed is also fine if you aren't running 2 advanced forward characters, physical damage orb, and attack percent on the rope, with the substats in order of importance being crit rate, crit damage, speed, and attack percent. Those are the only stats he needs. Now, let's move on to his team comps. So Phainon's role will be an AoE physical destruction main DPS, meaning he wants to be hyper carried, and he gets the most value from action advancers to build up his ult stacks as quickly as possible, because that's where all his damage comes from. So let's look at who we have. Sunday is definitely the best. I mean, who's surprised? His buffs are broken, he's best in slot. Bronya is surprisingly strong. You know, for a standard character, she continues to have a lot of value even after 3 years. Her buffs and mechanics work perfectly with Phainon. Next we have Robin. I mean, she's just generally one of the best buffers and advancers, but her massive attack buff is especially good on him, making her top tier as well. Sparkle is really good. Finally, another character she works well with. Not only is her advanced forward good, but skill point regen as well, since Phainon wants to skill every turn to get into his ult quickly. So Sparkle is a really solid choice. Even Remembrance MC is decent. It's not best in slot, but if you only have one of the advanced forward characters I just mentioned, then they're a decent choice. Anyone else would only be a replacement to the second advanced forward character, since they're practically necessary. But Tribi, Ronmei, and even Tingyun can all work well as a second buffer alongside any of the advanced forward characters mentioned. Finally, for his sustain slot, nothing. Seriously, he's best with 3 supporters, and since he has built-in survivability, you're better off running no sustain, despite his A4 passive providing buffs. However, if you want to play him more comfortably, then I really only suggest Huohuo because everyone else is just mid. Huohuo at least has attack percent buffs. Also, I'm just gonna say, I hear a lot of talk around Yukong working with Phainon, and to be honest, her buffs are great, but she's so clunky because you have to time her buffs with his ult. It's just not worth it. But I mean, if you really like her, go for it. And also, if you're wondering about the Fate collab characters, well, Archer is a hunt DPS, so no, and Saber is her own destruction DPS, so also no. They both don't work at all. Finally, Eidolons. I'm gonna be honest, some of Phainon's Eidolons are stupidly broken. But let's just start with E1. For every enemy defeated in one ult state, the inheritance ratio of his ult form's extra turn speed increases by 1% up to 84%. So 84 enemies killed in one ult. Plus he gains 50% crit damage for 3 turns when he ults. So a flat 50% crit damage buff and a speed upgrade based on how many kills he gets in his ult. Now 84 kills is a lot, and it's way better in pure fiction of course, or multi-wave content, but it is still very strong everywhere else. Overall, E1 is about an 18% damage increase on average over E0. E2, Phainon's ult state gains 20% physical res pen, and when consuming 4 Scourge to use Star Death Verdict, he gains an extra turn. So in other words, he gains a broken res pen, and when there are 4 more enemies on field, which gives him 4 more Scourge, using these stacks to trigger his bounce ability gives him an entire extra turn. And his bounce ability is his E, or the rightmost button, when playing him. So this Eidolon is incredibly broken for multiple reasons. I mean, as you can see, res pen and more turns, animations. Depending on the content you're playing him in, this Eidolon can be a 70 to 100% increase over E1, making it one of the strongest Eidolons in the game. It's absolutely crazy. E4, when using his enhanced skill in his ult form, he additionally gains 4 stacks of Soul Scorch, which is his counter. It's a small upgrade. This E4 is honestly terrible. It's about a 5% damage increase over E3. And E6, the number of overflow points for his ultimate mechanic, because he doesn't use energy. Similar to Acheron, he builds stacks. This E6 Eidolon removes the overflow limit to his ult. Plus, when the battle starts, he immediately gains 6 stacks, and after his bounce attack in his ult, it additionally does true damage, equal to 36% of total damage dealt in the attack to the enemy with the highest HP. So it's an improvement for single target damage, it's way better ult generation, which is massive, and it just makes him super comfortable to play, because the team comps aren't so restrictive. E6 has about a 25% damage increase over E5. Now, I will say his Lightcone is better than E1, but E2 is way better than everything else. It's just stupid. So it seems this patch is going to be a hard money printer. Like, these characters are looking pretty sick. I mean, Archer will be free, which is nice. But, like, the power creep is getting insane, man. They're just going to add a DPS who doesn't even need sustains anymore. It's definitely because his ult form is called Kaslana, man. They're glazing HI3 hard. Those who played know.